Have you heard about this thing called the Canadian Wheat Board?
Isn't it some kind of government outfit that buys grain from farmers?
Sort of. It claims to sell wheat on behalf of farmers. But they are not allowed to sell their wheat to anyone else.
What do you mean they're not allowed to sell it to anyone else?
It's illegal for them to sell their wheat to anyone other than the Canadian Wheat Board.
Illegal? So you can go to jail in Canada for selling wheat to someone other than the government?
That's right. But only in Alberta, Saskatchewan, or Manitoba.
This whole thing sounds crazy. I mean, this is Canada, not North Korea. Are there farmers who actually think this is a good idea?
Oh yes. There are some farmers who think the wheat board can get them better prices than they could on their own.
And does it?
No, it doesn't. The wheat board has never been able to demonstrate that it makes grain growers more money. It just tells farmers that they need to trust it to do what's best for them.
If I was a farmer, I wouldn't find that very reassuring. The last time I trusted someone like that, I wound up with a closet full of ShamWows.
I know what you mean. After my last boyfriend swore up and down that I could trust him, he took off to Las Vegas with my credit card and the floozy from next door.
Why don't these farmers grow something other than wheat? Then they wouldn't have to deal with this nonsense.
How is that fair? That's like telling Wayne Gretzky he should be playing tennis instead of hockey. Besides, there are less and less farmers out west growing wheat all the time. But they can't get completely away from it. Since we are on the northern edge of where you can grow things in North America, their options are limited. Kind of like the liberals right now with Michael Ignatieff.
You're right, that doesn't sound very reasonable. Didn't there used to be a wheat board in Ontario?
That's right, there was. It ran independent of the Canadian Wheat Board, and sold all of the wheat that was grown in Ontario. It's actually still around, but no longer mandatory. Ontario farmers now get to decide for themselves who they sell their wheat to.
So what happened? Did they start growing more wheat, or did they grow less of the stuff?
They now grow more wheat than ever in Ontario. The same thing has happened in Australia. After the wheat monopoly down there became voluntary, farmers actually grew more wheat.
Well, that says a lot, now doesn't it? Why doesn't the Canadian government simply make the wheat board optional for our farmers as well? I suppose it's another one of those things that conservatives can't do, unless they get a majority government.
That's what they will tell you, but it's just not true. The Wheat Board Act says they have the power to make the necessary changes right now. A recent court case even confirmed this.
So why don't they make the changes then?
I don't think they have the balls.
Well, I don't think they would lose any votes out west by doing this.
No, that's not what they are worried about.
What then?
They are worried that this might cost them votes in Quebec.
But the Canadian Wheat Board doesn't even sell any wheat from Quebec farmers. Why should they care?
It's not Quebec wheat farmers. It's Quebec dairy farmers who don't want to see the end of the wheat board monopoly, because they think their milk monopoly might be next.
Well, wouldn't they be better off without a milk monopoly either?
No, they wouldn't. Unlike the wheat board, the milk monopoly actually controls the supply of milk, and is able to get higher prices back to dairy farmers. You and I would be better off without the milk monopoly. So would all Canadian consumers, but dairy farmers would get lower prices, which obviously they would not be in favor of. They are constantly lobbying every politician in Canada to keep their gravy train rolling, and every politician is afraid of them. Like I said before, the Conservatives just don't have the balls.
This is nuts. Western wheat farmers have to suffer with a stupid bureaucracy and lower prices, because Quebec dairy farmers might not vote Conservative. They probably don't even vote Conservative now as it is.
And you and I have to pay more for our dairy products because of all this, and then when the farmers out west run out of money because they can't sell their wheat for the going price, our tax dollars go to bail them out as well.
This country is being run by crazy people. I need a cold beer.
Did I forget to mention that the wheat board has a monopoly on malting barley as well?
Alright, a rum and coke then. And you better make it a double.